Good morning, and thank you all for coming. I'm Susan McGrath, the Executive Director from the Florida Consumer Action Network. We are a nonpartisan organization that fights for consumers. So thank you to our Congressional Representative Kathy Castor, Dr. Maximo Luque, and St. Joseph's Children's Hospital for participating in this important conversation today. Today we're releasing our 34th annual Trouble in Toyland report. When we started releasing the Trouble in Toyland report years ago, there were many more dangerous toys. There were no limits on toxics like lead and cadmium. Choking hazards sent kids to the emergency room, and recalled toys were often found for sale. Each year, our limited review found dozens of unsafe toys for sale, and regulators lack the ability to keep our kids safe. We live in a safer world for kids today. The Trouble in Toyland has uncovered high levels of lead in fidget spinners, so-called smart toys with data security flaws, choking hazards for sale, and other dangers. By revealing these threats, the report has led to more than 150 toy recalls, resulting in legislation like the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act to remove these threats from store shelves and empower parents to take action to ensure that our toys are safe. This year's Trouble in Toyland report identifies 3 categories of hazards in toys and what to do about them: detectable dangers, hidden toxics, and recalled toys. First, parents and gift givers can detect detectable dangers away from children through simple in-home testing and monitoring. Parents can avoid choking hazards, extreme loud noises, and products intended for adults. Small toys or pieces that break off of a toy pose a choking hazard for young children. Just in the last year, UB Connecting bath toys and hundreds of thousands of wooden vehicles sold by Target were recalled because they posed a choking hazard. Parents can test for potential choking hazards using a toilet paper tube, as we demonstrate shortly. Ariel Mizrahi with the Public Interest Research Group is going to show us how this works.
So if a toy is able to fit through a toilet paper roll, it is probably unsafe for a child that is under 3. So if it fits all the way through, like so, it's probably unsafe for a child under 3.
Another choking hazard risk is uninflated or broken balloons. They are the primary cause of suffocation deaths from toys, as Ariel's demonstrating. The second detectable danger is excessively loud noise, which can cause hearing loss. Our audio tests found that Hack Toys ATS battery-operated bump-and-go Action 8 police car, as Ariel's showing, and Kiko's Toy Gun Blue Light-Up Noise Blaster likely violate standards by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. These toys could potentially damage a child's hearing. Recently, 2 doctors at Dornbecher Children's Hospital in Portland, Oregon, removed 54 small magnets from 4 children. These type of small, powerful magnets used in toys like construction sets, educational tiles, and sculpture kits can cause serious harm and even death if swallowed. We'll hear more about them from our experts. Unfortunately, toy safety standards on unsafe magnets was overturned in 2016. The Consumer Product Safety Commission should propose a new safety standard for these small, powerful, rare earth magnets. In the meantime, parents should keep these magnets out of the reach of our kids. The second category of the report uncovers the hidden toxic dangers found in many toys, including borax, lead, and cadmium. In recent years, slime has become a popular toy for kids, leading to multicolored, neon, and do-it-yourself slimes. For the second year in a row, our testing reveals levels of borax, a compound that includes boron, exceeding European Union safety standards in 4 out of 4 slimes tested. We'll show you the slime, as Ariel's pointing out. which is 75 times the EU standard, with no clear warning label on it at all. Ingesting medium to high doses of boron can cause nausea, vomiting, and other long-term dangers. The U.S. currently has no limit on boron in children's products or warning label requirements. The last line of defense against dangerous toys is the recall system, which removes toys found to be dangerous from the market. Unfortunately, these toys often remain for sale on resale sites or in use because parents are not properly notified about a recall. We were able to purchase Inocure's Kids Musical Instrument Set and VTech's Musical Elephant Shaker, which were recalled more than a year ago. Parents can check to see if toys are safe at www.saferproducts.gov to find out if a product has been recalled. The CPSC and manufacturers must do more to notify customers about these dangers through direct notification and aggressive marketing. Kids are safer than ever before from these hazards thanks to years of hard work by consumers, public health, and parent advocacy organizations, along with our elected officials and U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. But new threats are appearing and old dangers lurk, so there is more work to do to prevent children from ending up sick or in the emergency room instead of joyfully playing at home. In the meantime, anyone about to buy toys for a child this holiday season can visit our full set of tips at www.toysafetytips.org to learn how to evaluate potential risks and learn some of the toys on the market that could pose a hazard. At this time, we are pleased to introduce our U.S. Representative, Kathy Castor.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want families across the Tampa Bay area and across the country to have a safe and happy holiday season. So I'm grateful that Florida Consumer Action Network and the Florida Public Interest Research Group, St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, everyone in the Baycare family, we're here to help parents, help provide them with the tools they need to make those purchases of safe toys. There's a lot on the market. There's a lot online. And we need to make sure that parents and grandparents and families have the tools they need to make smart purchases on safe toys. I'm grateful that the Public Interest Research Group now, in its 34th year, has issued its Trouble in Toyland report. It's very important. This is important information for parents and family members on how to stay vigilant when you go out and you're shopping for gifts for your family. It's also a reminder that consumers have tools at their disposal. The websites that Susan and Ariel highlighted, they're easy to access, but it's really, the government can do so much. It's really up to parents to be aware of what these hazards are. Ariel has highlighted a number of them, but the Trouble in Toyland report highlights new information from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, from a Washington State Attorney General report, from a report from the Wall Street Journal that highlights where the hazards are. I want to highlight a few, and then we'll hear from professionals here and Dr. Luque, who can tell you about what's happening right here in the emergency department here at St. Joe's. Watch out for these non-motorized scooters. CPSC says that probably the #1 cause of injury and death among kids are those non-motorized scooters. If you wear them without a helmet, you're just asking for trouble. Helmets are fantastic presents to give to your kids, whether they're riding a bicycle, tricycle, or one of these scooters. Parents, beware. There are also a lot of these new toys on the marketplace that the CPSC has highlighted that are smart toys. Well, they're gathering your kids' personal information. Be vigilant on, it's not just the iPhone or the iPad when they play. A lot of those companies are surreptitiously gathering locational data on your kids. They are, kids are clicking on different buttons on your iPad, iPhone, and these smart toys also, if you don't control the privacy settings, they will open up your kids to a loss of privacy. You don't want to be out in the world of where your child is at that moment, where they're playing, what they like, or to be lured. These are the kind of modern hazards that we have to be aware of. The Consumer Product Safety Commission also this year has not really done its job when it comes to keeping kids safe. Beware of the Fisher-Price Rock and Play incline sleeper. A lot of the bumpers on cribs, they have been a source of severe trauma for children and they've led to a number of deaths. And some of the running joggers for babies, there were over 100 incidents where the wheels locked up or they collapsed and children were hurt. So I want to thank again Florida Consumer Action Network, Florida PIRG. This report is invaluable because what we want most of all is for our kids to have every chance to be healthy and well. And that's a good lead-in now to introduce Dr. Maximo Luque. He's the medical director of the Steinbrenner Children's Emergency Room at St. Joseph's Children's Hospital. He'll talk about his experience with toys and cases right here in the ER. Welcome.
Well, as has been said before, we here at the Steinbrenner Pediatric Emergency Trauma Center at St. Joseph's Hospitals are the recipients of those interactions between children and toys, which were given with the best of intentions that do not go so well. Just yesterday, we had a 6-year-old that was playing an innocent game of jacks with his sister, and something happened, and the jacks ended up in the near the airway and the esophagus, and the child couldn't breathe, couldn't swallow, was vomiting constantly, and that joyful moment ended up as in a trip not only to the emergency room but also to the operating room, in which that jacks had to be retrieved. Fortunately, the child is doing very well, but those are the things that can happen when the interaction doesn't go as planned. Another emerging threat to the health of the children that we've seen recently is the button batteries ingestions. Now, most of the toys and electronic devices are now using those button batteries as a power source. They can be seen as candy by a small child under the age of 5, and when they're ingested, we don't have a lot of time to prevent the damage that the battery can do just by being in the GI tract, and that is a absolute immediate emergency, as well as the magnet ingestions. Again, we have to be cognizant of the age of the child when we try to give a toy, and also keep in mind that in that household, even though we're giving a toy or a gadget to a 10-year-old, there might be a 3- and 4-year-old present in that household that can basically have a bad interaction with a toy and result in a health crisis. So outside of what Congresswoman Castro mentioned, marry the gift of a, let's say, bicycle with the helmets, roller skaters, marry with safety products. Beware of other children in the household and do the testing to ensure that those toys are going to be safe in order to be, before you give in order for a bad outcome in a health crisis to be avoided, because 250,000 kids undergo a trip to the emergency room as a result of bad toy-child interaction. So we want to keep those to a minimum and keep our families safe.
Great. Well, I want to invite one other expert to come up. Prince, will you come up? And Marlene? Because here, this is why we do it. And you could tell Prince As soon as he saw some of the toys being demonstrated by Ariel, did you see his reaction?
Yes.
He went up, he started to point, he was quite attracted to some of the colors and sights, and all, right now he's got a beam on this table.
Yes.
It's very attractive. So parents out there, grandparents, friends and neighbors, be vigilant this holiday season. Listen to what Dr. Luque is advising. Marry the toy with the age appropriateness of the child. If it is going, Ariel, come show this again. If it's going through this tube, that's a choking hazard. If it is a smart toy, control the privacy settings. Watch these magnets. See, yeah, I know, it's disturbing, isn't it? But we want everyone to be healthy and well. So thank you again for the Trouble in Toyland report, and thank you for the wonderful work here at St. Joseph's. It's a beautiful hospital. We love our children's hospital here and everyone in the Baycare family, but we do not want you to spend time here in the emergency department over the coming months. So thanks, everybody, and we're happy to answer any questions. Do you want to demonstrate a few more?
Yeah,
Why don't you do that?
Yeah. So one of the detectable dangers is loud noises and loud excessive noises. It's safe to say that if the sound is too loud near your own head, it is probably unsafe for your child's developing sounds. So we have two examples of excessive noises. The first is this police car. Too loud. This airline, though, is an example of a safe one, though. Much quieter. So, again, if it is too loud near your own head, it is probably not safe for your child as well. That is the biggest example. And then again, just to reiterate, if a toy can fit through this toilet paper roll, everyone has toilet paper in their house, so it's a really great test. But if it fits right through, it is probably unsafe for a child under 3. And then additionally, broken or uninflated balloons, pretty dangerous. And this bag doesn't even have any information on the packaging. It is just a simple plastic bag. Yeah.
Can you explain what happened with Caitlin?
Yeah. So in 2017, we first released Kayla. Kayla is a Bluetooth-enabled doll, so you can download the application onto your phone, and it is actually connected through Bluetooth. She will answer really simple questions like, do you like puppies? How are you? And I actually tried to test Kayla out last night. The app has been removed from the Apple Store as well as from the Google Play Store. So it just shows that reports like this are actually very effective in protecting children. And so we'd like to see more action like that in the future. Great. Thanks, everyone.